Hello and welcome to the NBA DFS Slate Breakdown for Thursday, December 5th. We're going to go over the slate. We got 8 games on FanDuel, 7 on Draftkings. There's no late game there once again. Now let's dive in. I'm your host, Tyler Wiemann, at FlatTyler83 on your DFS sites and Twitter. Now come join us at LionStar, $39.99 per month. Gets you access to all we do. All the props, all the DFS. You get it all, one low price. Now, let's dig in here. So, starting with point guard, high owned is Chris Paul, 35% owned, 4.5-star alert score. Paul has had an up and down season. We have seen a few games with some ceiling here. My issue here is most likely he is 5'6", and you don't see much on top of that. Now, it is a great spot versus the Spurs. I just really wonder if, versus the Bulls. I just really wonder if the Spurs will push his minutes up in a game where Wemby isn't playing. There's not that much need for them to really do that. I don't think the team is really planning on pushing for a legit chance to win a ring this year. And with that, you know, why push Paul in games that don't really matter too much? Now, it is encouraging that we have seen 34 and 32 minutes the last couple games. If he's around there, he could definitely hit 1.06 fantasy point per minute over his last 20. Minutes are something that's kind of hard to figure out with him, though, because a lot of the time he's in this 25, 26, 28 range, and his minutes go all over the place. So if he's super high owned, might be smart to get off of that a little bit. Next, we got Buddy Hield, 4,400, 26% owned. The big news here is there's no Curry and no Draymond. Buddy Hield played 21 minutes last game with no Draymond, but Curry was still there. You would expect him to play more than that with Curry out. Now, if he does, he's in a great spot, but it is a little bit risky here because we don't really know what the Warriors are going to do, and their rotations have been just absolutely horrendous this year with nobody really getting big minutes. Luka, 11.7 in a great matchup versus Wizards. I know that he put up 70 in back-to-back games. I just don't think that is likely. Between him, Kyrie, there's a lot of people that can score, but it is a very good matchup, and I don't mind having some Luka on my teams. Next, Stephon Cassell, 5,300, 14% owned. We've seen some 30 burgers from him. Can we get higher than that? Maybe. I think this is a game that they could probably try and push a little more of the workload on Cassell to let him try and develop. So I think it is a little bit of an interesting spot. And with the salary savings you get from not taking Chris Paul, I think it's a little interesting bet at lower ownership here to go this way rather than Paul. Now, one of the things I said last time is I don't really want him and Paul in my lineups together. It would be more so one or the other rather than both. And the Spurs rotation's been kind of deep lately. Pivots. Io. Don't mind going some Io. There's no Kobe White in this game. He played 30 minutes last time without Kobe White in a blowout situation, so should play 32 plus. And it's a great matchup versus the Spurs, so interested in some Io. Also, like Josh Giddey, who played 32 minutes without Kobe White. So if he is getting extra minutes, he looks super interesting, as he is a 1.16 fantasy per minute guy as a starter. So additional minutes to Giddey is very enticing, but is that a consistent thing we're going to see without White, or is it just kind of a one-off? Hard to really know. Then DeJounte Murray, 8K. Look, he's been getting there without really scoring, so it makes a lot of sense to try and go to him against the Suns. I am fading him a little bit in prop bets today, but there's also absolutely a path where he could do well. He's been taking a lot of shots, upper teens in shots, but the shots aren't falling. He's been shooting very poorly so far this season, so he's just not scoring points. He's putting up a lot of rebounds, steals, assists, blocks, all of that stuff, but the points have been lacking. Points show up today, he could absolutely go with a 50 burger. Point guard on DraftKings, we got Chris Paul, Luka, and Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes in a tough matchup versus OKC, but you can't really say anything when he's put up 58, 50, 59, and 66 in 4 of the last 5 games. 9,100, I'm fine taking a couple shots on a little Scotty Barnes, but it's not nearly as good of a spot as last game. Jalen Brunson, 8,400 versus the Charlotte Hornets. Look, this one's probably over quick. The Hornets are beat up, and the Knicks are a solid team and 14.5 game total. I don't love Brunson in this spot. Shooting guard, Devin Booker, 34% owned. There's no Kevin Durant, so it makes some sense to want to go there. He's been playing well and, nipping at that 50 area consistently, so at least of interest here. But ownership's probably going a little too hard here. Buddy Hield, 4,400 is fine. 6,100 for Amen Thompson is interesting. You never know one of those outlier extra minute type situations is going to come. However, there's big variance because of those minutes that are just all over the place. 24, 26, 40, 38, 35, 24, 17. You can't really count on his minutes, which makes him very hard to project. And when industry is projecting him really high, I kind of would rather go on the other side of that and go a little low because we just have no idea what's going to happen with him game in, game out. Now, that is a game I like, so I do want to get some Rockets. I'm going to have some Thompson, but I'm not going to go 25% Thompson. Stephon Casal we talked about. Pivot, Zach LaVine. If you're playing the no Kobe White line of thinking, Io looks good, Giddey looks good, Zach LaVine looks good. I'm fine with any of them. And LaVine is obviously the most explosive of those, so definitely fine with him. Brandon Podziemski, he's 5,500. There's no Curry. He's going to take the start. Without Curry earlier this season, we saw 39, 32. He has big time upside at 5,500. Very, very interested in him, even in a tough spot versus the Rockets. I think his usage goes way up, and I'm shocked not more people are there right now. Small forward or shooting guard on DraftKings, Devin Vassell, 5K. Minutes got up to 28 minutes, and now there's no Wemby. Also, definitely interested in him in taking a couple more shots without Wemby there. So, a little interested in him. 5K is still a bit of a deal. 6,700 for Malik Monk is interesting. Kings are pretty much going to a 7-man rotation with Malik in the starting lineup, and he's played 35 and 37 minutes. He is a very good point per minute guy, so absolutely interested in him at going 67, or, if he's going to get 36, 37 minutes at 6,700, there's big time upside there. Booker, we talked about that, and getting over to small forward on FanDuel. Booker, Thompson, and Keldon Johnson. 4,600 for Keldon Johnson is an interesting price. The thing is that he's still likely to come off the bench. We're just not sure how many minutes he's going to get. If he goes from 24 to 28 minutes, he becomes super interesting. At 24 minutes, I'm fine taking a little bit of him, but I'm not going to go real hard. With Sochan back, I don't expect a ton, Sochan that is, I don't expect a ton of minutes for him, which is the only hard thing for me to really swallow there. DeMar DeRozan, 7,800, very interested in him. It's versus the Grizzlies. We've seen big time upside. All year he's been flirting with that 40-ish with, 50 points, 55 ceiling there. So absolutely at 7,800 he is in the mix. Jonathan Kuminga, he's going to pick up the extra usage with no Draymond and Curry, so I like to go here as well. 5,800 is a deal for him. Levine we covered. Podziemski we covered. Moving on over to small forward on DraftKings. Matthias Buzreris. Sorry, I cannot pronounce his name. I'm not sure exactly how it is, but Matthias is a little bit interesting here. We have seen him have a few games where he has got his extra minutes with people hurt and has done decently. Now, the hard thing, the fact that he's dead minimum 3K is interesting, but he's going to have to run into extra minutes and have to run in to be playing well. He's a 0.9 fantasy point per minute guy, so just having 21 minutes and playing his average is not going to win you a contest. He's going to have to be like a 1.1 fantasy per minute guy and play 22 minutes. So the likelihood of that isn't very high. Don't love that he's super high owned, but I'm fine if he's in some lineups of yours for sure. Royce O'Neal, 4,900. No KD. He played 30 minutes when KD got hurt last game, so it would be expected that he slides into a starting spot at 4,900. That's interesting versus the Pelicans. Scotty Barnes, we like. THT sighting. He's played, high teens minutes for the last few games. 3,100 is at least a little interesting, but I just don't expect any additional minutes, and he really needs more to win you a tournament at 3,100. Power forward on FanDuel, Keldon Johnson, 22% owned. We covered him. DeMar DeRozan we covered. Herb Jones, 3,900. He is back and should be playing in the game. No word yet on any type of minutes limit, but if he's playing 27, 28% at 3,900, 27, 28 minutes at 3,900, you got to consider him. Now, he was playing, similar to that earlier in the season and wasn't able to produce, but I'm fine to go back to Herb Jones here in this situation at that price. All right, Phoenix rookie Oso, he's made 2 starts, 32 minutes in the first one and 28 in the next. Now, I don't mind this spot versus the Pelicans here, and we've seen a little bit of upside. He's 0.8 fantasy point per minute so far, and if he's going to get 30 minutes, I'm fine taking some shots on him at 4,400, going a little low owned. Kuminga, we like. Trace Jackson Davis. I do expect Looney to start again versus Sengun. However, Trace Jackson Davis played 22 minutes last game. We know from last year and previous seasons that he can absolutely go nuts in a short amount of time off the bench. And this is a prime spot for that to happen. So very interested in TJD in this spot. He's going to go low owned, and I don't mind having some shots on him for sure. Power forward on DK. Matthias, Royce O'Neal, 4,900. Anthony Gill. Anthony Gill is 3K. We have him at 16.5 minutes. At that type of minutes, I can't go there. Even being projected 15, he shouldn't be showing up in lineups in consensus either. Kind of weird that he's showing at 14. Josh Hart, my biggest issue here is 14.5. So if you're going to play some Knicks guys, make sure you grab a Hornet on that lineup too, because for it to really hit, Hornets are going to have to stay into that game. Onto the center spot on FanDuel. We got Al Princeton going 23% owned, 8,800. I'm fine going to some gun. We got a giant ceiling out of him, and his minutes have been up a little bit. Only 30 minutes last game, but 38, 35, 42, 36. If those minutes stay up, he's in just a prime spot, and Warriors haven't been great versus center, and there's no Draymond. It just hurts their interior D or D as a whole. So definitely interested in some Sun Gun. Sabonis, 9,300. He's getting pretty cheap for his ceiling. I am absolutely fine to go there. Also, we covered TJD, Nikola Vucevic. Look, Bulls are versus the Spurs without Wemby, and it's a high game total, and Bulls don't have a main guy in Kobe White. So I think having a Bull in your lineup is smart today, and Vooch can definitely get it done. At 7,900, having a 50 burger or the potential of a 50 burger is extremely good, and it's a good spot for Vooch, so I don't mind getting there whatsoever. And on to center, Charles Bassier. Look, the last time Wemby was out, he got some extra run. He's a very good per minute scorer, so if he gets that run, he starts to look interesting. If he gets 22 minutes at 3K, he's a smash. Collins, 3,500, also very interesting. I mean, these guys are going to get minutes, and they're just too cheap not to consider there. So, like both of them, Vooch, 12K, Jokic, 12K. He is always in consideration, and this is a game that he could see extra minutes. Also, don't mind Evan Mobley, 7,800. Should be a close game. He could play, 32, 33 minutes, and very interested as they need a lot to take out Jokic there, and he's done well versus Denver in the past. All right, guys, that will do it for us today. A quick one. Good luck tonight. Good luck in Thursday Night Football, and I will see you here back tomorrow. Peace.